Guneet and Kartiki, welcome to The Hindu. And hello, Oscar winners.
Thank you.
Has the rush faded off of the last 2 weeks? Is it still sinking in?
It's going on still. I think it's going to take a long time for it to really sink in, I think.
Right.
Complete journey's been surreal.
I don't think it's going to fade. It's going to be fresh. It's too exciting and it's too surreal. And, it just feels like, a whole new set of celebration in India. So it's, so now reeling into that.
Right.
Yeah.
Kartiki, most important question. How is it to have Pedro Pascal, of all people, announce your best short win?
Well, that was just magic, don't you think? Having him really come up and announce it. And I just love the way he pronounced our names. That itself was special. But
Yeah.
it was really special to have him announce it. And I think we got some extra publicity because of that as well. Yeah.
We saw a little behind the scenes, but I wonder who all did you also meet at the ceremony? Some personal heroes, heroines at the Oscars?
Michelle Yeoh came running up. That was really special. And Jamie Lee Curtis, I think when we were walking on stage, they were also just cheering us so much. It was just really special to have them supporting us. Yes, beautiful.
Did they share thoughts on the film?
Yes, they really found that the bond was really special, and they just loved the way it was filmed, and they had a lot to say about the documentaries. Yeah. They were really pushing for us.
This was, of course, a huge cultural moment for us. Like, it's one of our biggest years we had. Nat Natu also won. Shaunakh's film was there in the features documentary nominations. Collectively, was this what was the euphoria there for India, and what was the feeling that you were getting from interacting with at that stage, on that forum?
Well, I think in general it was just really special because we had so much support. We had the South Asian Excellence, we had the Women in Film, we had every Asian just backing us. It was just really special because for me, being my debut film, it was just a beautiful experience to see so many people and other documentary filmmakers, to have like a whole family around you supporting us on this journey. And I think Guneet feels the same way as well, because it was just amazing to be among so many people.
Yeah, I think we were there for, Kartiki was there for straight 4 months. I was there for a month and a half. I literally got married and then the shortlist came. And right at the nomination, I went out. So I was there for a month and a half. So the campaign took off largely from then to the whole month till 12th March being the Oscars. So it was really nice to have, a set of team, even with the Rajamouli sir and Kartike. I remember sharing notes. They were having a big screening and I was like, okay, let's play our trailer. They were like, yes, let's do it. And it was nice to just be a team, be a camaraderie amongst everything else. Also, the entire South Asian community opened up their entire database, dictionary, their phone book for us, from Carl Penn to Priyanka Chopra to Anjula to, Riz Ahmed to there was so much support, so much support. Chef Vikas Khanna went out of his way to promote and support the film. From Deepak Chopra to Salman Rushdie supported our film. So it was really nice to have, cheering from India and from Indians there,
Right. Kartiki, the win has shown a light on very strong, good non-fiction that happens in India, and we have a long culture of it, and it's not the first time that great films have come out of India. What do you feel this does to the non-fiction scene in India, and would it open up the world to more investment and more interest in Indian non-fiction?
Well, I think that's an interesting question, because I think in the past, it's always been people coming from the outside world to India to putting stories out in a very different perspective. But I feel like India's home to so much diversity, and we're home to so many stunning stories. Here we had this tiny indigenous film from the heart of South India, and then this went onto a global platform, and having Netflix support us was just amazing, because it really spread it out to so many countries and so many languages. And I think one other thing that's special is that it was this tiny little indigenous film in a language that many Indians don't understand. So, and I think it was just amazing to see how that translated into a much larger global message, how it transcended borders and really reached out to countries all across the world. And because I think there's certain things that are universal that we share, and that's love, compassion, empathy. This in specific is going to open doors to let young filmmakers just go out there and have faith in the stories that are from home. Local storytellers go out, and I hope this just paves the pathway ahead.
Do you feel a buzz already?
I do, definitely, because my inboxes have been filled with emails about people wanting to assist and to also direct, or just wanting me to help them look at their stories and see how they can take these to the next steps. And I think this is going to open up a complete new era of documentaries in India.
Yeah, I feel like, it's definitely India is having a moment with a couple of years of Cannes representation, Sundance win. I definitely think that is a lot of amazing documentary talent and younger talent, and platforms like Netflix are definitely an amazing house, because it also has brought in, Netflix has done so many nonfiction work in India now that it's the conversation of accepting documentary has increased. So be it a whodunit, or be it just a real life story, verite format, so be it Smriti Mundra's work, or be it Rintu Thomas and Shushrut, and the whole spectrum. So definitely it's Indian filmmakers are shining around the world, and I hope that all of them collectively, and with our win and Kartiki being a debut filmmaker, I feel like there should be many more.
Right. I must ask, a lot of people pointed out and they were unhappy that you played off and you wanted to say something. What was your feeling and what do you have to say about that?
I have to say that I was very, very happy that we won. Of course, extremely grateful and thrilled. I'm glad Kartiki spoke, got the message out there, represented the film and the country so beautifully. Yes, mixed feelings. It was amazing, and I walked off, and then right behind was the backstage camera where I had my moment. My heart was racing. I have usually been, okay in saying a couple of lines, but even in that I fumbled. So, I forgot a few things. I forgot to thank some people, but it was too much. It was a lot. It was definitely overwhelming. A very high pressure came to me as a shock and a surprise. And but I was also very, very grateful. So I have to say that it is, it's human. It's a mixed feeling, but the win definitely surpasses any of that, because this is just the start. We won our Oscars in our 30s. I'm sure we will go out there for many more, and many more speeches to come. Right. So yeah.
I think the film, of course, has been widely discussed, but there's a scene I have to ask you about. Yes. It's the lovely moment where Raghu is being very insufferable and refusing to eat. And for me, that was very humanizing. It kind of pricks the surface of the sweet, warm tone that's going on. Okay, here's a child who just wouldn't eat and the mom's pissed off. Like, can you tell us about capturing that and moments like these, that really give us a full arc of a family?
Right. So during this journey, it was just extremely on the go and in the moment. And I think that's what Verity documentary is about. So it just happened right in front of us. And in fact, during that moment, you have Bellie talking to me directly. And that was one of the things that made me really think about things, because we had a beautiful relationship ourselves. And when I was actually there, she was like, oh, he's not going to eat anymore. But she was talking to me, and that was a big question. Do we include stuff like this in the documentary? But then the final decision was like, yes, because even if you go back to the earlier scene, she's like, I'm not going to marry a man covered in ash. And it was me she was telling that to. So when you just go back to it, it's a relationship that she had with me that was ongoing in the documentary. So I think, to answer your question, these moments were just there. They just unraveled at the moment, and you just have to enjoy them, because we didn't know it was going to happen, and it just unfolded in front of us. So moments like this are really special. And I think when you're working with elephants, especially young elephants, there are a whole lot of surprises. Everything touches you. And you just find everything sweet in the moment, because it's literally like watching a family grow up. And the amount of time that we spent with them from 2007 to 2022, it's a long chunk of their lives, a long chunk of our lives. So I would say I look at Raghu as a son in so many ways myself, because I saw him when I first met him, he was 3 months old. And when we finished this, he was 6.5. So I literally watched him grow up as a young elephant into a young bull now. So it's been a beautiful journey with a lot of fun-filled moments. And it's striking how many similarities there are between us humans and elephants. And I feel there couldn't have been a better subject to portray this to the world, to get people to understand elephants on a deeper level.
Right.
Because I think when people can understand elephants on a deeper level through similarities, I think that really gives them a special place in the way that they see them. And I hope that just goes ahead in helping protect the species.
Sure. We posted a picture with Bomman and Bellie last night, and there was chatter that they had not seen the film and stuff like that. And what's your take on that? And what's the road ahead? Do you plan to do something for them or the elephant camp that's there in Tamil Nadu?
Well, to begin with, I don't know where that came from. They were the first people to watch it, even before I even submitted it as a final cut. And it just goes back. We had a beautiful moment, and Boman and Bellie were watching the film, and they were crying throughout the film. And it was really special because I think for me, it made me vulnerable in many ways, because I'd spent the last 6 years working on this. And to really put it out there in front of them, it put me in a position of, this is my heart and soul, and this is your life. What could be more meaningful than showing your heart and soul to someone?
Has the film made an impact on their lives as well, in terms of, let's say, their monetarily or in others in a social sense?
Yes. In fact, M.K. Stalin, our chief minister, was really sweet, and he actually facilitated them earlier this month. And then we also had, in fact, he's really reached out and supported the indigenous communities, the mahouts in the state, and recognized them for their work. And I think it's also a lot of on-ground work where we have a lot of people who've been visiting the Theppakadu camp and interviewing Boman and Bellie, talking to them, and also sharing a piece of their lives with them. I think there's a lot of interaction. I think this is where conservation really begins.
Right.
Because we're looking at people going in after say Raghu Namu have connected with them. And if the elephants have been able to connect with the larger mass. And I think that's what's special. That's effective conservation, in my opinion.
The change and happens as consumption of viewers and their thoughts of accepting a piece of cinema. And when governments come together and support it, that's when magic happens. So we are very grateful to actually have the most beautiful honor in the world. And if that can impact change on ground, and the Tamil Nadu's government has actually moved so fast, has facilitated and provided cash reward to all the mahouts, to the center, to the reserve, and has doubled down on conservation conversation. I mean, it's incredible. It's beyond our dreams. So yeah.
And I think coming back to your point, I think one of the biggest things is that it's not just ground level, because this documentary really had the power to reach out to people across the world. And I think it just makes everyone question our relationship to the other living beings we share our space with. And that is not something just local to Tamil Nadu or to elephants. It definitely has paved a pathway to look at elephants in a different manner. But I think it translates into all species that humans coexist with anywhere in the world, be it Africa, Thailand, Scotland, anywhere in the world. So I think it's not just a small message for India and elephants. And
yeah, definitely.
Definitely global.
And definitely with Netflix,
Yes.
it's a global conversation.
We'll end with this from such a heartwarming, unassuming, warm film. You've now announced a doc on Rapahani Singh, right?
Also with Netflix.
What can you tell us about it? And I'm just curious, tonally, what kind of a doc it's gonna be. He's attached to the film, of course, but knowing your pedigree and knowing your, the incisive nature of your films, I wonder, how far would you be able to go with it?
I actually think that there will be a time in the day where we will sit again and talk about this. Right now, it's just moment to celebrate Elephant Whispers. Yes, we launched the teaser. It's very exciting. Of course, Honey is part of it. And as a producer, what I enjoy is I get to work in all spectrum of work as Sikha entertainment, from Gangs of Wasseypur to Lunchbox to Masan to Period End of Sentence to Elephant Whispers. As a producer, it allows me, and I think if anybody's ever kept us in a box, we've broken that box and gotten out of it with genre. So there's a lot more coming, and there will be a day and time where we will sit again with Netflix and do this. But today it's about Kartiki and Elephant Whispers.
Great.